around, because across the country, thousands of people will be losing their jobs as Montgomery Ward goes out of business. Now, ironically, here today, the parking lot is packed because of big sales, but longtime customers say they are absolutely being affected by the closure, by promises made and never kept.
I'm still trying to paint in here.
Chris Dane and her family just moved into a new home 5 days ago.
We have a lot to do, a lot of expense. And
all of her attention was focused on remodeling until she found out this empty space in her laundry room might stay empty.
After I purchased, a week later, we heard on the news that they're going bankrupt. And so then after that kind of worried me, so I went down to the store, and that's when they told me I wasn't going to get anything.
Last month, Dane spent more than $600 at Ward's for a new washer and dryer. She was given 3 different delivery dates. Now she says store employees won't even take her calls.
It's going to be monitored and for timely service. Then boom, they hung up on me. Nothing.
Over at the store, we didn't get much more.
Could you step back out here for a minute?
Sure.
Don't get, you know.
Ward has no comment. If they have any questions, they can call 312-467-2000.
A number no one answers. Meanwhile, shoppers continue to flood through the doors in search of big sales. Big sale going on, huh?
Right, big time.
Are you sad to see them go?
Yes, I am, yeah. Because we lost some Sears up there. I'm from Wisconsin, and we lost Sears up there, and it's kind of rough.
Kind of rough for Chris Dane, who says she can't afford to buy another set of appliances.
Now I have an empty house and a lot of dirty laundry.
And Dane isn't alone. Coming up tonight at 6, if you haven't exchanged those holiday gifts yet, you're probably out of luck if they came from Ward's. I'll tell you why tonight at 6. Reporting live, I'm Denise Roche for News 3.
All right, Denise, thank you. And store officials won't tell us exactly when that store in East Charleston will close, but employees say they have been given a 60-day notice.
We started with a list of more than 500 names, and now we're down to 2. City leaders are asking for your help now to name the far northwest area of our city. It's the fastest growing part of the city, and many streets are still not on a map, but it's in the area between Decatur, Lone Mountain, Moccasin, and Pooley Road. Now, the name of the entire area is going to a valley-wide vote. 2 final choices are Centennial Hills, since it is near the Centennial Parkway, and Arrow Canyon, because some people believe Native Americans used to live on that land. Residents we spoke with are split.
Centennial Hills. I like that better.
Arrow Canyon.
Because?
It sounds cool. I think it, brings some of the Las Vegas, heritage into it.
If you'd like to vote, we've set up a link on our website at www.kvbc.com, an affiliate of lasvegas.com.
The Clark County School District faces the daunting task of educating our kids with less money, an $18 million hole in the budget because of rising operating costs. Gas prices, one of them. They will do it with hiring freezes, cuts in student programs, and by taking money from reserve accounts. One of the major programs being cut is the Pathways program. Right now, it costs the district $425,000 a year. It's a temporary alternative for elementary kids with behavior problems. The elementary dropout prevention program will also be eliminated, saving the district over $277,000. Reassignment and hiring freezes will save another $587,000. The cuts will hurt the district, there's no doubt about that, but right now school leaders say they just don't have any choice. The school board is expected to approve these budget cuts later this month.
Abandoned shopping carts. They're probably showing up in your neighborhood. Now, City Councilman Michael McDonald wants stores to foot the bill to pick up those carts, taking the burden away from taxpayers. Ben Correa joins us live, and Ben, some stores say they shouldn't have to pay for this, and they say they already have a solution.
Beth, these shopping carts cost stores a little more than $100 a pop. Rayleigh's realized the problem. That's why they've set up locks that you're looking at right now on most of their carts across the valley. Here's how the system works. You push the cart past a certain area in the store, and it's supposed to lock up, which it did earlier, but it didn't. That's what it does earlier. It's supposed to lock up. Now, according to Rayleigh's, that they are one store that are responsible for this. other stores in the valley that aren't, and the city wants to make sure those stores are responsible for their lost carts all across the valley. After pounding the cement with a shopping cart filled with food, sometimes the carts don't make it back to the store. Take a look at this neighborhood. We found carts hanging off the curb, stranded on the side of the street, or coupled close together.
It certainly sort of gives it a junky look, but you know, some of that has to do with the people who could at least place them in a position where they're not out in the middle of their yard. Or
not only are the carts an eyesore, they also can be dangerous.
We saw this morning was halfway out in the street, and if someone would have come around the corner, it could have very easily, if nothing more, scratched the car.
Those are the exact reasons Councilman Michael McDonald wants to pass a law that will make stores responsible for their carts that leave their property and end up like this.
I'm certain that you pay a little bit more for the groceries because of the missing shopping carts.
Here's what an actual locked cart looks like. As you can see, it's totally immobile, and sometimes it doesn't work as you just saw, but that's what it looks like. Now, there are some stores here in the valley that contract outside workers to pick up carts in the valley, but again, some of this, we the taxpayers pick up some of that burden. If this law is passed, stores may be charged for the retrieving costs and the storage, and even sometimes up to $50 if the city retrieves 3 carts within a 6-month period. There's some hefty fines, and the city is serious about picking up these lost carts all around the valley. Reporting live, Ben Correa, back to you.
Ben, thank you. The city council could make this grocery cart proposal a law by next month.
It's always tough. It worked great in rehearsal, I'm sure. And then you're on live TV. It doesn't quite happen that way.
No.
Let's hope shopping carts are not part of the problem out on the roads right now. Tom Hawley has a look at your commute.
Well, probably bigger problems than that for a lot of people on I-15. The cars are stacked up in the southbound lanes all the way from about Charleston back to the Spaghetti Bowl interchange. Why? Of course, it is that lane restriction we've been mentioning. Southbound in between Charleston and Oakey for construction of a sound wall. And just a note for people who use Martin Luther King Boulevard in between Oakey and Charleston, this is the last weekday for a while that you'll be able to make that commute. This area right here is undergoing a lot of work, most of it flood control, also work on the sound walls. And this stretch of Martin Luther King Boulevard, which has already been closed to southbound traffic, now will be closed to northbound traffic beginning on Monday, and that will continue until further notice. So I think that means several weeks at a minimum. But the main thing is watch out for that restriction on southbound 15. Doesn't free you up until you get past the Oakey overpass. Tom Hawley reporting from Sky 3.
All right, Tom, thank you. You saw quite a few semi-trucks out in his live picture, and one Nevada lawmaker is trying to limit the speed of those trucks traveling on all Nevada highways to 65 miles an hour. Assemblyman John Carpenter of Elko is heading up the effort. The faster trucks go, the longer it takes them to stop. And statistics show that when a car and a truck collide, the car driver is killed 90% of the time. Truckers say safety depends on the driver and the truck, not the speed limit. The search is on for a Walmart night manager suspected of stealing $200,000. The money and the manager are missing from a store up in Winnemucca. The last time Philip Franklin was at work was on Christmas Eve. The money was reported missing the day after Christmas. A warrant has been issued for Franklin's arrest now, but police think he has moved out of the Winnemucca area.
President Clinton went to work on his legacy again today, declaring nearly a full third of the country's federal forest land off limits to most logging. The move affects nearly 60 million acres in 39 states, mostly in the western U.S., including areas of Alaska. That's what you're looking at here. The plan has immediately come under intense attack from mostly Republican Western lawmakers and from energy, timber, and mining industries as being too restrictive. The Clinton administration leaves with one of the biggest land protection moves in American history.
Millions of acres of land in the West were charred by wildfires this past year, including, of course, right here in Nevada. Take a look at the numbers. Idaho was the hardest hit with 1.4 million acres scorched. Remember those wildfires in Montana this summer? The Big Sky State lost almost 1 million acres. Alaska came in third with a loss of nearly 800,000. Nevada is fourth on the list, almost 650,000 acres charred here, and New Mexico is fifth with 520,000 acres. This past summer is considered the nation's worst fire season since 1988.
And since it was one of the worst fire seasons on record, nearly 100 communities here in Nevada will receive money to help fight fires this next go-around. The areas up to receive federal aid include Las Vegas. along with North Las Vegas, Mount Charleston, and Pahrump, along with a few other communities. The money the communities get will go towards getting more firefighting equipment and will also allow the departments to hire more firefighters.
As we head into the weekend, this fantastic weather sticking around. Rachel's over in the Weather Center to tell us how long it's going to last.
Oh my, Jim and Beth, it's about to come to a screeching halt. And right before the weekend. Actually, the weekend is not going to be too bad. Let's jump outside and check out the current conditions at this hour. Finally, we've got some clouds around. If we jump outside, absolutely. We thought they'd come around, and here they are. The clouds are around. The temperature is 61 degrees. The humidity is 14%. The wind out of the northeast at 3. The barometer 30.10 inches of mercury and falling. Here's a clue that things are changing. The National Weather Service has put out a special weather statement detailing what exactly is going to happen. I'll let you know exactly what that means in just a few minutes. First, back to you two.
Thank you, Rachel. Do you have a letter or a package to mail? Send it today or tomorrow, or you're going to have to pay more.
On Sunday, postage rates are going up, and as Beverly Kirk tells us, you can grumble all you want to, but the Postal Service says the higher rates are necessary because of rising costs and lower revenues.
Dropping a note to a friend or mailing a bill will now cost you more, thanks to a 1-cent increase in the price of first-class stamps. The new stamps feature the flag, flowers, and the Statue of Liberty and cost 34 cents. More than 7 billion of them have been on sale since mid-December. The Postal Service blames the hike on the rising cost of health care for workers, plus higher equipment and fuel prices.
And for every 1 cent that you see at the pump, it cost us about $5 million addition a month. So those are devastating costs.
Critics say consumers will not only pay more for stamps, but will soon face higher magazine subscription rates.
Commercial organizations can say our costs are increasing, as they always do, and so therefore we're going to charge a little bit more this year than last.
Lee Cassidy says charities and other nonprofit organizations that use direct mail for fundraising can't pass along their increased operating costs and will be hit hard by the rate increase.
Charities that have reasonably sophisticated mailing operations will be paying in the neighborhood of 7 to 12% more.
The Postal Service receives no tax dollars to operate and is expected to make enough money to break even. The 1-cent increase should provide about $1 billion a year to the agency. Beverly Kirk, NBC News, Washington.
Now, the U.S. Postal Service is not the only one raising rates right now. UPS and Federal Express have both announced they'll raise their shipment rates next month.
Yeah, we don't like to hear that.
Nope.
Well, get ready to get moving.
Fitness trends for 2001 are going out of the gym.
I did kickboxing, I did step, I've done water things, I've done everything. This is the absolute best cardiovascular workout you can get.
We'll show you some of the best ways to keep your workout exciting.
And pay at the pump revolutionized gas stations. Now the McDonald's drive-thru is going cashless. Technology will make calming that burger craving more convenient.
Plus, from drama to drugs, we'll show you what's hot at the weekend box office. Coming up on First News 3 at 4, where news comes first.
You're watching Southern Nevada's #1 choice for news. This is First News 3 at 4.
Welcome back. For months, we've been following the story of Rick and Sandy Borba, the couple who had trouble getting pregnant until turning to the Fertility Center of Las Vegas. In today's Healthline 3, Dr. Shapiro performs an ultrasound to check on the development of the twins in Sandy's womb.
There's 2 sacs there, sac 1 and sac 2. Call them sac A and sac B.
Dr. Bruce Shapiro checks the size of the sacs.
Sac A measures 27 by 18 millimeters. The yolk sac measures 6 by 5.
If you look close, you can spot the baby's head at the top of the sac, followed by the body and limb stumps. Dr. Shapiro then measures the fetal heart rate.
163 beats per minute. So that looks pretty good.
Then it's on to the other sac.
And adjacent to that sac is a little fluid collection.
But sac B brings heartbreaking news for Rick and Sandy.
The first twin is doing well, but the second twin has stopped developing. So there's really no fetus anymore. It's completely resorbed. There's just a small remnant. So we have one twin that's continuing to develop normally, and the other twin just stopped developing. But the one twin that's continuing to develop looks normal at this point in time, and the other one just stopped. And it's called the vanishing twin syndrome. And we see that in many types of pregnancies that have twins. It usually just happens because something has happened to the embryo, and it's usually nature's way of taking care of something that went wrong.
Yeah, but devastating news. Rick and Sandy were too upset, understandably, to talk with us on camera. They'll have another ultrasound next week, and if that goes well, Dr. Shapiro says there will only be a 1 to 2% chance of miscarrying the remaining fetus. Dr. Shapiro said there was an 8% chance of the vanishing twin syndrome happening, and that nothing the parents did caused the loss of the fetus. Well, if you resolve to get fit in this new year, it doesn't mean you're condemned to hours in a gym. The American Council on Exercise has a new list of fitness trends for the year 2001.
As far as going to a gym and things like that, that's too restrictive for me. I like the outdoors.
We all, to get fit, get out. Even indoor fitness instructors are taking their classes outside. Low-impact classes and new fitness machines are easing the aging joints of baby boomers, and resistance training helps women prevent osteoporosis. High-tech devices like cell phones and personal digital assistants can track your 2001 workout, giving you nutrition advice and fitness feedback. Also in 2001, exercise classes will become more diverse, mixing dance and music from other cultures. Jim?
All right, if you're still having trouble getting motivated, here's another option. It's a class called cross-terraining, where these ladies assemble 3 times a week and take on the great outdoors. From running down roads to climbing up sandy hills to just flopping down on the beach and ripping off 50 crunches.
It's called interval training. And what you do, you have bouts of high aerobic cardiovascular movement, like we just did out there on the beach, combined with active rest, this is called. So my heart rate is still up, but I'm still working.
And I'm spent just watching that one. Variety is the key to enjoying workouts. Check your gym for classes like cross-terraining. In Stage 3 today, the wacky magic duo Penn and Teller take the stage tonight at the Rio Samba Theater. The Las Vegas residents will appear nightly at 10 o'clock through January 14th. They're crazy. Tickets are $45. Penn and Teller have been a team since 1975. They're referred to as the odd couple of magic, with their offbeat take on illusions. Penn and Teller last performed here in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand.
A couple of new films hit theaters this weekend.
Sarah Edwards has a box office preview.
So important that I had to postpone my nap. Would you like some chocolate cake?
Opening this week in cities across the country, a sweet little tale called Chocolat, helmed by the director of Cider House Rules. Set in the small French village of Lansquenet, Juliette Binoche plays Viviane, a newcomer to the sleepy little town, forms people's lives when she opens up a chocolate shop. Her irresistible confections awaken the townspeople's appetite for life. Johnny Depp also stars as a free-spirited musician who in turn awakens her desires.
One of these cartels, either Juarez or Tijuana.
Also opening a jarring drama about drug trafficking in the States and neighboring Mexico that has picked up Critics Awards and a Golden Globe nomination for Best Picture. Traffic, directed by Steven Soderbergh, boasts a top-notch ensemble cast, including Michael Douglas as the government's new anti-drug czar, who ironically is fighting his own drug battles at home. Benicio del Toro as a Mexican policeman who finds himself caught in a web of corruption involving the drug trade. Don Cheadle, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Dennis Quaid also star in this penetrating drama filled with intrigue and danger. Sarah Edwards, NBC News.
Last week's top box office picks were Tom Hanks' Castaway, followed by What Women Want, starring Mel Gibson.
I'm
you guys
way
checked
behind.
that one out yet? What
Have
Women
you?
Want? Looks funny.
It
I guess he
does.
can channel the mind of a woman or something like that. Is that the whole deal?
Envious, Jim? Does
Well,
that sound
I don't
good
know.
to you? Or?
It would be. I don't know if that would be scary or enlightening, or I'm not sure what.
Both.
Scary. Probably.
Yeah, you say scary, I say both. he can hear what other women are thinking.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's what it is.
I gotcha.
But you guys are going to call me a castaway given this weather forecast. Let's jump outside and get right to it, because after the weekend, things get a little bit tricky. But look, it's fairly pretty. We've got some clouds in the sky. Who knew? I have something to talk about. Clouds in the sky after several days of kind of abundant sunshine. Clouds around, the temperature is 61 degrees, the humidity 14%, the wind out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour on the barometer, 30.10 inches of mercury and falling. I actually think that's a beautiful shot, a nice change of pace. 56 the normal high for this time of year. We made it up to 61. That's where we are right now. That may turn out to be our high for today. 6:52 a.m. is when your sun will rise tomorrow morning. Temperatures elsewhere around the valley stacking up like so. Let me jump back in here. 63 degrees right now in Spring Valley, 59 degrees in Summerlin, 63 degrees right now in Henderson, 42 up on the mountaintop. Here's the situation. We still have high pressure in control. However, you can see this counterclockwise rotation from this low pressure system off the Baja coast. And this low pressure system is going to open up, and that means that clouds are going to be streaming across the valley sky Saturday into Sunday. The temperatures, however, should be in the mid-60s, so that's okay. But then when this system moves on out of here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to have a series of systems just sweeping across the valley, and we're going to see windy conditions, and we're going to see some clouds move on in and chances of showers. So once we get through the weekend, that's when the unsettled weather is forecast to move on in. At this point, precipitation chances, yes, indeed. We're a little flaky on the timing right now. As we get closer, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. You can see some precipitation moving into the southern portion of California right now around San Diego. 52 degrees right now in Caliente, 55 degrees right now in San Francisco. Elsewhere around the nation, 20 degrees in Minneapolis, 31 degrees in Chicago. It is 53 degrees right now in Dallas. And the low pressure system that barreled through the Great Lakes region still moving on off to the northeast. If you're headed that way, check your flight. There could be delays, cancellations, what have you, thanks to the winter weather. We'll fall back to 51 degrees by prime time, 46 by late night, 43 by sunrise. Tomorrow's high, despite the cloudiness, 66. We'll have increasing clouds, and then the clouds will decrease in the afternoon. So we'll see some cloudiness early and then decreasing clouds, 72 out of the lake. Up on the mountaintop, you're going to fall back to about 26, top out around 51. So that'll be the trend. We'll see some clouds in the morning, then decreasing in the afternoon. And then, as I mentioned, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's when things really get tricky. So that's when the unsettled weather is forecast to move on in. Some windy conditions. You see a chance of showers on Wednesday. But the weekend, despite the mix of sun and clouds, should be okay.
Oh, Rachel.
I know.
You're killing us here.
Oh, geez.
You let us down.
Thanks, Rach.
Yep.
Thanks, Rach. Nina's here now with a look at what's coming up at 5 o'clock.
A massive manhunt is underway tonight across the nation for 7 escaped convicts accused of brutally killing a police officer.
We have no reason to believe that they've separated. They stayed together as long as they have, and they apparently have done it for a reason.
Police say a gang of killers could be headed our way. We'll tell you how Nevada law enforcement agencies are getting involved in the search. Plus, News 3 uncovers new information about an accident that injured a Metro officer. Hear what the suspected drunk driver told police just moments after the crash. And a warning for kids born by C-section. The way a child is delivered may determine their health later on in life. All right, here's one for you caffeine-aholics. Find out where the world's biggest Starbucks is going up. That's coming up today on News 3 at 5.
Thanks, Nina. Fast food is about to get even faster when we come right back. It happens to all of us. You're starving, you're short on time, but you don't have any cash. Well, McDonald's may have the solution. The restaurant is testing an electronic payment system in Chicago that allows customers to pay for food by waving a special debit card at the drive-thru window or the cash register. You just do it on the fly. The technology is called Speed Pass. Each Speed Pass transponder is linked to the credit card of the customer's choice, then the money's automatically deducted with each purchase. McDonald's says the program is aimed at cutting the service time. If the Speed Pass system works in Chicago, it could be coming to a McDonald's near you. More news coming to a TV near you when we come right back.
If the answer is Kendall Tenney and Beth Fisher, then the question must be, who's your first choice to turn to for a top story?
Catch News 3 at 6, followed by Jeopardy at 6:30 and Wheel of Fortune at 7.
With the start of the year comes the end of a magazine. George magazine is being shut down by its French publisher. Executives say the magazine failed to attract advertisers despite a 25% increase in circulation over the past year. John F. Kennedy Jr. ran the magazine before he died in 1999, and there is some speculation that the magazine would still be around if he were still here to run it.
And he really put his heart and soul in it. You could tell he believed in it. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for having us in. I'm Jim Snyder.
I'm Beth Fisher. See you back here at 5.